What's the chat room?
Sounds creepy to our generation, man. I gotta be honest.
What's up, everybody? It's a pleasure and honor to be hanging out with so many talented and diverse quote-unquote boy band guys.
We have to do quick intros around. James Maslow from the group Big Time Rush. Might have heard of. So jump into kind of what the idea of a boy band is. You know, I know when we first started BTR, we had a hesitance even using the term because we felt like there was this stereotype maybe that people would think, oh, you're manufactured, and we actually were all artists. We wrote the majority of our music ourselves, we perform everything live. So I think we almost fought that at the beginning, and we're just like, no, we're just a band, and eventually it was like, dude, who cares? Call us a boy band, call us whatever you want, like, come see the show, if you enjoy the music, if you listen to it, that's all we care about. How do you guys feel about that?
Right.
You know?
Highly doubtful. That is fact.
You just haven't seen the decade or decades before that of work that went into it. And then to maintain success, that's a whole nother battle. Yeah. Well, I'll talk about mine real quick. Ours was an audition process because we were casting a TV show, a single camera comedy, as well as the band. So they came together, yeah, it was nuts. It was actually 2 years of auditioning. I started when I was 17 years old, and it wasn't until 19 that we actually had a record deal with Sony Columbia, which was exactly, I mean, biggest label in the world. They had all these huge acts that we were fans of. And then Nickelodeon basically saying, hey, we want to create modern day monkeys, or even like a more current version was like, hey, Hannah Montana, but for guys. You know, so to be able to do all of that, they needed 4 guys who could actually act, grew up training and studying. Like, you're doing single camera work, it's a little different than just showing up on stage and then go be in the studio dancing, singing, and all this stuff. So the first round of auditioning was nuts. They saw like 1,500 kids from around the US or something crazy, flew out 40 of us, put us in a hotel, and the first thing we did was literally every day we had dance, like choreography, we had acting classes, we had to go in with a coach, and then we had to go and record and sing and do stuff live, and they'd pair us up like U4, U5, U3, and then just start cutting people every day.
Oh,
it was nuts.
Goodness.
It was
That
gnarly.
sound like Idol.
And you know, we found a great group because it comes down to the chemistry. Whether you're auditioning into it or you put yourself together, you all have to mesh. Like, you can only fake that so much. Yeah. And it sure comes out within probably 2 weeks of touring if it is faked. Like, that'll come out. So we got real lucky, man. These guys are, you know, they're still like brothers to this day.
You start a group so you can meet girls, be famous, especially when you're younger, guys.
Sure.
Certainly it evolves into something else later.
As you do it more with each other, I feel like you actually end up picking up the slack for each other.
No question.
That's my favorite thing. If I thought about this over the last, you know, over a decade with the BTR guys, you know, of course there are times like, man, I want to be a solo artist. And like, I've done that. I've played on my own, and that's great. But my favorite thing about playing with the guys is you have 3 other people backing you up.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're sick that day, like, I know I can turn to my boy Kendall and be like, dude, can you cover my parts tonight, or vice versa. Yeah. And there's a relief there that you can't get anywhere else. And I think only within this boy band, this brotherhood that we all share with our own groups, there's that amazing like trust and fallback, like safety net almost, knowing you got your other guys up there. If you're by yourself, you got no choice, man. You got to power through. You got all the pressure to carry. But it's pretty dope to share it. And one of my favorites, actually, because it's not that extreme, but you hear about people like breaking into hotel rooms, and these girls didn't break into a hotel room, but they still had to have a key to ride the elevator. And somehow, for about 4 hours straight, like, think about 4 hours in the elevator, they didn't get off. They rode it up and down. When I walked in, it's like 9 in the morning, ready to go to the gym, like half a coffee in my system, barely awake, and here just screaming. I was like, okay, y'all earned this somehow. Like, you shouldn't be here, but you got here. You got the next, 33 floors from New York City. You know, many photos, selfies. How'd you get here? Tell me your story. And, like, they straight up, like, they had a whole plan. Like, they faked being a hotel resident. They stole a key. It was like Ocean's 11 just to get this. And, like, y'all earned it. Okay, let's take some photos.
I remember one time we were in the Philippines and I ordered breakfast, and the food cart came in, and I opened my thing to go eat, and there was a girl underneath the food cart. They wheeled her in underneath the food cart. She popped out. Was like, surprise!
Got your food.
You gotta just remember, man, that these are the people that support us. They're just excited because they love the music, or they love you know, what we're doing. So, you know, you take those moments, go, okay, as long as nobody got hurt.
Right.
So,
yeah, man. I mean, I love that advice. I feel like I'm just starting to kind of have a little bit of my own wisdom in that regard. Where it used to be, man, I've been on stage in front of 20,000 people and been like, I'm tired. You know, this is show number 64. I'm exhausted. And I think about it now, you're like, what type of idiot was that being? Man, like, that was so cool. And, you know, you check yourself then, but it's easier when you have a little perspective and some time off. But one of my favorite moments that I do remember every day, because it's framed in my guest bathroom, and y'all come over to the house, you will see it, is when we sold out Radio City. Now, it's not the biggest venue we've played even close, you know what I mean? Just, it's one of the most epic, iconic, legendary venues ever. And I never imagined that we'd be there, much less have it say sold out in the banner outside. And I'm so grateful that somebody took a photo of that. And so it still says Big Time Rush sold out Radio City, and that's what's framed right in my guest bathroom there. So I'm still reminded, like, man, that was so cool.
That was like your made it moment, sort of?
That's definitely one of them that I look back and go, yeah, I think that was one of the first times I realized, like, oh, this is kind of working. And especially being on a TV show, we were on set, you know, soundstage Paramount for most of our lives of those years. So we really didn't know what was going on. We hear like, oh, it's a #1 rated show. Like, what does that mean? You don't see the fans until you get on the road. So it's when we were touring was always our favorite time because you get to actually watch the energy, you know, hear your fans sing back, especially to you guys' point when you've actually written something, man, it is tenfold when they're singing back your lyrics. So yeah, that's it. If I, you know, to take that a step further, like I'm going to always try and frame, like literally frame some pictures of pinnacle moments in my life moving forward. Because when you visualize it and you see it, it's a gratitude you have. And I think it's also beneficial with maintaining that energy, like, man, I did do that. What else can I do?
Yeah.
I was lucky to have a manager who would knock my head off if I did anything too dumb. My first big purchase was a mattress. By the way, mattresses are expensive, y'all. They are $4,000 for a California king. Like, that's no joke. But I still have that baby to this day, and it's very comfortable. But otherwise, I say no joke. I didn't spend anything until I bought my first house. You know, because I had a manager. He's like, dude, you get stylists giving you clothes. Like, don't spend money on clothes. Remember one year, one of the guys dropped like 150 grand on clothes. And I'm sitting there going, we have fittings every week. Like, what else do you need?
Did you ever, like, go to, like, the mall or something, though, and be like, oh, I could, like, you see something, like, super expensive, you're like, I could, and you know you could get it.
I do that. It's nice to have that feeling. Well, guess what I've learned over, you know, crazy years and then years where I've been, like, just on independent films and not making what I was making the year before. I've definitely learned I enjoy life a lot more these days when I spend a hell of a lot less than I can. I love rolling up and knowing I could get that car right now. I could. I already got a great car. I had just some of the best times of my life with Big Time Rush. And I'll give a little Easter egg of fun here. Nothing is set, but we've taken a break. We might actually play some more music at some point. So I think that's definitely open, especially even, you know, we'll see, man. Look, you know, I got 4 movies coming out. My other boys are doing music and movies and TV, but why not also get some new music together, you know, as a group? Even have this type of conversation inspires me, like, why not? Like, I love these kids. We've had a lot of fun. So we keep the fun going. I think that's important.
Hey, that's what's up.
I think we all agree on that. We're lucky to have a team on stage and everywhere we go.